Hello friends, it's Emily and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making all of these beautiful fall crafts using nothing but Dollar Tree products. So without further ado, let's get into the video and let's start crafting. The first one we're making is inspired by this Pottery Barn placemat. To make this, you need a wreath form from Dollar Tree and some raffia. I'll link down to what I use down below. First step is to break off these 4 wires, and you can do that by just bending them back and forth, and then gently bend down these 2 wires without breaking them off. But if you accidentally do break it off, you can just hot glue it back down. But as you can see, they come off pretty easily. You could use wire cutters, but it's just easier to bend them back and forth. Definitely keep one of the wires though, because we're going to straighten it out and then hot glue it to the middle. We will be taking the raffia and wrapping it back and forth and kind of weaving it in and out. I'll show you here in just a second the exact way to do it, because I had a couple trial and errors and found out the perfect way to do it and the perfect way not to do it. My first tip though is definitely to cut off a big old length of the raffia so that you don't have to keep weaving out the whole roll, because honestly it just keeps getting unraveled and it's super annoying to have to ravel it back up to try to make it work again. So you just cut off a big old chunk of it, and then you can hot glue the ends to it whenever you run out of that chunk, and then cut off another big old chunk. This ended up being way more complicated than I thought, because I really thought that I could just weave it back and forth between the 3 poles. But you can tell the difference between this and the top part because it started bunching up and you couldn't actually see the definition of the real pumpkin. And I was doing that method till about right here, and then I hated it, so I unwove all of it until I got about here, mainly because I was too lazy to keep unraveling. So instead it's best to take the raffia and wrap it underneath and then take it to the next one and wrap it underneath again. But actually on either side you're going to end up having to do it twice. So what I mean is wrap it around the outside, wrap it around the inside one, then go back to the outside one, kind of going underneath the top one of the inside pole. Does that even make sense? Main reason, because as you can see, these sides are longer because they're curved more, and so what was happening is they kept slipping up without me doing that method. That just creates more on the sides, but if they still slip up, you can hot glue a little bit and they'll stay in place. And once you are done wrapping the entire pumpkin, you turn it around and you can make it look like this. Now, if you like the other side better, then leave it on that side, but I personally like this side. Now, of course, you can use it as a placemat like Pottery Barn did, or you could also just use it as regular decor. Of course, I'd have to make a lot more if I wanted to use them as placemats, but which do you like better? Placemat or decor? We are going to be recreating the viral print from Michael's by just using a canvas from the Dollar Tree. I like to get the ones that are not very thick so that I can put them in a frame later, as you will see. The very first step is to just paint it black. Then once the black is all dry, you just need a bowl of spackling. They do sell some at Dollar Tree. I've seen them there before, but I couldn't find it when I was looking for it, so I just got mine from Walmart, but I'll link down to it below if you were interested. And to get the spackling onto the canvas, I just cut out almost like a cardboard spoon out of some cardboard that I was going to throw away, and then make this almost like a fish scale pattern onto it. Now mine will go on pink, but I promise it dries white. Once it is all dry, then you can just paint the little eyes onto it. Then I decided to find a frame from my stash that I found at the thrift stores and just replace the picture that was in it with a little ghost canvas, and I think my little ghost family turned out so cute. What do you guys think? Next up, I found these woven mushroom, acorn, and pumpkins, and I just knew that I could make this look a little bit more high-end simply by removing the floral arrangement that was on top. It already helped it, but to match it with my home decor a little bit more, I took some antiquing wax and a sponge brush and just brushed it all over that to give it more of an aged vintage look. Next, I found these ceramic mushrooms with the velvet on top. I just love mushrooms. I think it gives off a very whimsical vibe. I don't like gnomes or anything like that, but a mushroom, you know, anthropology vibe. So I'm using that as my inspiration, and I actually had two from last year that are surprisingly bigger than the one from this year, so that's slightly disappointing, but whatever. But my first step is that I painted the bottoms black and then went back in with my favorite product, and if you've been here for any amount of time, you will know that is Rub and Buff. Next up, I found these foam pears, and I'm using the inspiration of this marble pear that is beautiful, but it is sold out. But I love the dark brown marble accent in a nice fall decor that is something other than pumpkins, because I love pumpkins, but there can be such thing as too many pumpkins. They have a very smooth, glossy texture to them, so I decided to give them a light sanding just to give something for my paint to actually adhere to. And I know marble is like a really smooth texture, but I didn't want these to be exactly perfect, so I decided to go ahead and give them a little bit of texture. So my first step was to make a dark brown paint. I have brown and I had black, but I didn't have a dark brown, so I just made my own and then added some baking soda to it. It took about 3 coats, but once I got enough coverage and it all dried, I then took a little bowl of water and just squirted some black and some gold spray paint into it. So the spray paint just kind of sits on top, and then you are able to dip your whatever you're making, I mean for this is the pear, into it, and it gives it a marbled effect. I did this a couple of times to each pear just to get enough coverage on everything that I did, but you can go ahead and just spray right on top of the paint that you already used, and it works just as well for the second coat as well. Sorry, the camera angles aren't really good, but this was actually really satisfying to watch and turned out a lot better than I thought they were going to. I remember doing this actually with nail polish in high school. Did anybody else do that, or was that just me and my friend? I did end up sealing it with some Mod Podge just to add some of that glossiness back into it and to make sure that everything stayed in place. And then once they dried, I was able to style them onto my coffee table, and I think this one might be my favorite one. What do you guys think? This next one is inspired by Anthropology's wooden acorn candle, and whenever I found this acorn container at Dollar Tree, I thought maybe I could make something very similar, or at least have the right vibes. I started off with a good scuff sanding to make sure the paint would adhere to it, and then used my favorite Waverly chalk paint, Cashew, I think it's what it's called, to give it a base tone of a wood color. And then I used Waverly's antiquing wax and a dry brush to brush it all onto the acorn on top of that cashew color. And what I made sure to do though is make sure all of my quote-unquote wood grain all went the right direction so that it actually did look wood. The next step was literally just take a Sharpie and draw on the design that you wanted to. So for the sides, I kind of tried to imitate what was on the candle, and then for the top I just traced out the texture that was on the top of the candle already, which was an acorn look. And actually be careful because I actually messed up. It's just tracing, but for somehow I still messed up the top of the acorn, but hopefully nobody notices that. Anyway, once you're done drawing on your design, you just do another coat of the Waverly chalk paint, and it just kind of makes it look a little bit more carved in, not so much just drawn on with a Sharpie. Then I took a Dollar Tree candle to melt it down. All I do is fill up a pot with some boiling water. Well, not boiling water, but it slowly heats up, as you can see. Ignore the brown one, that's for a different craft. But I also got some wax melts and a scent that I really liked, a very nice fall scent, and put them in the candle as well to give it some smell, and then was able to just pour that directly into the candle. I will say the wax turned out a little bit more pink than I would have liked, but it's fine, we can deal with that. I honestly think that this one turned out a lot better than I was expecting, and definitely looks like I paid more than $1.25 for it. The next one is going to be a dupe of these lit mini ghosts from Pottery Barn. You will need some foam balls from Dollar Tree and a couple of their candlesticks. They have a bunch of different ones to choose from, but I chose this one. I also used these for a different craft, but was able to use the material from these ghosts, But you can use cheesecloth, you can use whatever you have on hand, just as long as it's a very thin material. I started off by hot gluing the foam balls to the candlesticks. At this point, I should have wrapped my twinkle lights or my fairy lights around the candlesticks and glued them in place, but I did that after I draped the fabric and let that all dry, and then had to take it off the fabric and then try to put it back on whenever it's being all stiff. But yeah, learn from my mistakes, in other words. But anyway, what we did was just drape the fabric over it and then cut it to the length that I wanted. I didn't want it to go all the way down to the floor. I actually did want it to be like the inspiration and show some of the candle holder underneath. So I cut it a little bit shorter than that. And then I didn't want these to just be flowing on top of the candle, so I decided to mix some Mod Podge and some water, and I also didn't want them to be perfectly white, so I just took a little bit of brown paint and mixed it in with that mixture. Then all I had to do was dip the fabric into this mixture and then wring out the excess and drape it over it. After it dries, it'll become a little bit more stiff, not like super stiff to where I don't know, but it doesn't come super stiff. So I was able to like take these off of there and put the fairy lights back underneath them. But I just used paint to paint on the little eyes, and then I just took some fairy lights that I had on hand, had to take off the thing and wrap it around and then put it back on. So as you can see, it's like holding its shape a little bit there. But yeah, and they turned out really cute. I actually really like these. I think ghosts are my favorite Halloween decor. Tell me what your favorite Halloween decor is and what you would like to see a little bit more of me making, and I'll work on that. But I think they're adorable. like I said, I love ghosts. What do you guys think? Speaking of ghosts, I saw this on Pottery Barn and thought I have all that on hand, so might as well make that as well. So I actually use a paint bottle and some sticky tack to make my mold pretty much, and did the same process that I did with the other ghosts. Is I just cut off a little bit of fabric, dipped it in that mixture, and then draped it over that. Wait for it to dry. Then I could just peel it off of the little paint bottle and it would hold its shape. And again, just paint its little tiny eyes on it. Sorry, my kids decided to mess with my tripod right there. Then I had one of these like cloche, how do you say that word? I still don't know. Anyway, I had one of these from Dollar Tree from years past, and it had a black plastic, and even though the inspiration had black, I decided to go ahead and rub and buff it just to give it a higher end look. Next, I had one of these 12-inch stacking pumpkins, also from Dollar Tree. Gave it a light sanding because I've painted these before and then the paint peeled off the next year. So I always sand things now. I've learned my lesson. They do have white ones, so I guess if you found a white one, you could skip this step. But personally, I kind of like the texture that the paint leaves behind. It just gives it a little bit more of a high-end look rather than the plastically look that you get from Dollar Tree. I ended up having to do like 3 coats, at least 3, maybe 4, I don't remember. Anyway, 3 coats of this just white paint that I had on hand. And then back in the springtime, I bought these floral napkins. Something about putting like really pretty wildflowers on something fall. I don't know what it is, but I like it. Anyway, so I got the floral napkins. They were 2-ply, so I took off one of the plies and then cut out as close to the design as I possibly could. You paint on some Mod Podge onto the pumpkin first, lay the napkin onto it, and then Mod Podge over that as well. It's actually a very easy process. I know I sped it up really fast here, but anyway, I did have to patch up some of it in like the back because it didn't wrap all the way around, but overall I think it turned out really, really cute. Like I said, are you a fan of like the spring flowers on fall pumpkins, or is that just me? I said in a video previously that I really wanted to find a use for these mushrooms because I really liked them, and now I finally figured one out. So anyway, you'll need mushrooms. You could just use 1 pack if you want them all to be the same color, but I wanted 3 different colors on it, so I bought 3 different colors and I'll use the other ones. Probably I'm going to save them for Christmas, to be honest, because I feel like mushrooms can go into Christmas as well. So anyway, I bought that, and then I had this 3-pack of these golden rings from Dollar Tree and some floral foam. Dollar Tree does carry floral foam, but I couldn't find it while I was looking for it, so I just got mine from Walmart. The first step is actually just to cut the ring We're making a wreath, but anyway, I needed the ring to be cut just on one side so that I could stick it into either side of the floral foam. Then I took some wooden dowels and cut them down to only about like maybe 2 inches, maybe not even that, and just was able to stick them into the bottom of the pumpkins. I did go ahead, not the pumpkins, mushrooms. I did go ahead and secure it with hot glue. I even secured the wreath form to the floral foam just to make sure that it wouldn't go anywhere. But anyway, so I stuck the wooden dowels into the mushrooms and then stuck the mushrooms into the floral foam. Before hot gluing them down though, it is kind of a good idea to make sure that you have the positioning just right, because at first I did just go straight up and down, but that's not like a natural mushroom, so I ended up taking them out and doing it into more of an angled look on both sides, and then I could angle or hot glue them down whenever they were in the right position. So just play around with it. It is floral foam. You won't hurt it by taking it in and out a couple of times, as long as you hot glue it down and secure it in place. After that, I bought some of these florals from Dollar Tree. Yeah, you can get florals cheaper at Walmart, but I really liked the acorn and the pumpkin that was on these, so I decided to go ahead and use this one. And then I also bought some floral moss and glued it all around the floral foam so that you couldn't see any of it anywhere. But I just stuck the flowers and the like bead or berry things onto the sides, and then the pumpkin and acorns down the middle. And I hung this up on an interior door because I think I'm going to gift this to my bestie because she loves mushrooms even more than I do. And there you have it. Those are all of the fall crafts that I have made so far for this year's, but I actually have even more planned. So if you like this kind of stuff, be sure to like and subscribe. But also leave a comment down below which one was your favorite or which one you would like me to recreate. Maybe you have something that you're trying to figure out how to make, and I'll figure it out for you. But anyway, you want to see any more videos like this, check out this one. This is all of the crafts that I made last year. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time.